Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Alfie Watts was the youngest person to win BBC's Race Across the World in 2024 when he was just 20 years old. This weekend, he's embarking on a new challenge, a world-first attempt to drive a TukTuk from London to Norway to raise awareness and funds for young people's mental health. How are you, Alfie?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Great to have you with us. I can see you're in the TukTuk now.
I am indeed. I've just been driving it down the North Circular, basically trying to get here on time because I've never seen the traffic so bad in London. But I got here in the end, so I'm parked outside of Tesco.
Oh, amazing. Oh, thank you so much. So you pulled over specially. I love it.
I have indeed. I am also out of fuel, so I need to get that after the call as well.
Oh, goodness. So how are you finding driving a TukTuk? Because I think I mentioned to you on Instagram that it was something that I did for the first time last year. There was a group of us women that drove TukTuks across India. So I have first-hand experience.
Yes, I think this is a bit more kind of modern than the ones that you were driving from the other anecdotes that I've heard about that trip. But I have got the little handlebar that you pull to basically jumpstart it if the ignition isn't working.
Yeah.
which gets quite violent. And I've got. I mean, it's not got a great deal of kind of tech. It does have a car charger, though, which is going to be very helpful for on the road.
Oh, definitely. And have you had to find out about filling up with fuel? And because when we did it, it was really quite complicated. There was a particular type of fuel and a particular type of oil that you needed to do together. Have you got to do the same?
Sadly, well, it's probably better for me that I don't. No, this is just one of the more, kind of, like I said, one of the modern ones that's just kind of running on petrol. But it doesn't run on much petrol. Has a 5-litre fuel tank, which, as I've seen today, evaporates quite quickly.
Gosh, yeah, so that's something you've got to get used to. So you need to make sure that you go to the petrol station before you run out of petrol.
Indeed.
Yes. So I've been following your amazing content on Instagram the last few years since winning Race Across the World. I know we spoke after your win, but you've been doing some amazing travel adventures and sharing them with people online, showing people like the cheapest flights and you've been like going online and seeing where you are, the cheapest flight from there and then the cheapest flight from there, someone else. It sounds like you're having so much fun.
Yeah, it's the dream job, I think. But ultimately, like I wanted people to be able to take something out of the platform. And the reason that I got into travel was because of the cheap flights. You know, me and Owen found a £9 flight one November to Krakow, and we were both sort of 18 years old, and we just said, yeah, like book it, just why not? So I think that I kind of want to inspire other people to have that kind of level of adventure, and then I think it's my job to bridge the gap between them understanding the cost of it, which is actually lower than most people probably realise, and then obviously hoping that what I do inspires them to have that kind of attitude as well.
Definitely. That's the thing. I mean, there'll be a lot of people sitting at home that think, oh, I wish I could travel, but I can't afford it. But as you say, finding those cheap flights, it can be cheaper jumping on a plane to somewhere in Eastern Europe than it can be going down the motorway.
Yeah, absolutely. And the next, once I'm done with the TukTuk, one series that I really, really want to do is I basically want to go to different airports across the UK, see how much an Uber would be into, I don't know, like the city centre or something, and then see actually where I could go and what I could do with the money. Because I worked out that actually if I get an Uber from Gatwick to my house, which is an hour away, I could spend 2 nights in Malaga, return flights and hotel. So
wow.
And that's just for the price of an Uber back from the airport. And the amazing thing about that is that I'd be flying into Luton, which is so much closer to my house that I could then jump on the bus home. So it actually would be like a different way of doing the journey. And that's just the kind of thing that I want to be showing people, is that actually travel is, even with kind of like the fear around the Iran war and things like that, there is still so much accessible travel. And yeah, it's so much fun to do.
Yeah, brilliant. So tell us about this TukTuk challenge. This is if you do this, which I have no doubt that you will, this is a world first.
Yeah, I mean, I've struggled to find anyone else who's been stupid enough to attempt it. So it's essentially, driving 3,500 miles in a TukTuk We aim to race. So we're going to North Cape, which is the furthest point north in mainland Europe, and then obviously subsequently mainland world. The only kind of thing further than that is Svalbard and the North Pole. So we are literally heading right into the centre of the Arctic Circle and hoping to get there on summer solstice when there's a 24-hour midnight sun. So it's going to be really exciting. Like it's going to be a journey of a lifetime. There's going to be a lot of kind of mental health discussions. There's going to be a lot of difficult things that we're going to talk about on the road. And the aim ultimately is to raise money for Young Minds, which is a charity that I'm an ambassador for. But also, probably more importantly, is having that direct impact on young people and having those conversations with people to just kind of inspire people to, open up.
Yeah, the statistics for mental health issues for young people, particularly young men, particularly also connected with suicide or suicide attempts, are really, really quite shocking. And I've seen a couple of interviews that you've done in the last few weeks talking about and promoting this trip. And I was sad to hear that you've had experience with this yourself.
Yeah, so when I was 16, I attempted to take my own life, and I think that it's a scar that never really properly heals, and it's quite damning how, as a society, we've kind of normalised the numbers of young people who are essentially attempting this. I think that I even read a stat that says that they're actually they're above wartime levels, which is just crazy to think about. That in the climate and society that we live in, and people can talk about the reasons and people can talk about the factors relating to it, and some people will have quite strong views on that, but ultimately we need to deal with the facts, and the facts are that we need to address this problem. And look, is me driving a tuk-tuk to Norway going to solve it? No, but what it might do is inspire a couple of people to open up to their friends when they didn't feel like they could.
Yeah. And do you think that's the issue? Obviously, it's very difficult, near impossible for you to answer the questions as to why you think that the statistics are so high at the moment. But is it to do with people feeling like they're not able to talk about their feelings so much? I mean, was that the issue for you, if you don't mind me asking?
I think listen, like you say, it's a completely impossible question to answer because it's so different for other people. I mean, like if someone is perhaps suicidal because they for example lost both parents in quick succession, there's not really much that talking about feelings can do there. And sometimes there are just circumstances where actually like it does just require like a long process of kind of therapeutic help and scientific help. But I think there are definitely situations where little things build and build in young people's minds. Failure, like the expectation of society, builds and builds, and yeah, I think that actually sometimes just having a conversation and letting people know, and then they're kind of able to take things a little bit slower with you, I think it does help in some cases.
Yeah, for sure. And men in general, obviously big generalisation here, but men in general open up and talk about their feelings less than women. So it's particularly important for you as a man to be saying to other young men, if you're not happy, if you're going through a tough time, please talk about it. Please share it with a professional or a friend or a family member, just whoever you can.
Yeah, and I think that's where I see kind of my role. And I don't particularly like to get into discussing like the gender dynamics, because I think actually it doesn't really matter. I think there's a problem, full stop. So the fact that it's more men, I don't think it should be what we're massively focusing on. I think that it's like the conversation overall, because I think that everyone can take a lesson or two from speaking to people when they're not 100% or not feeling right. And I just feel like that I can kind of perhaps be related to by a generation that perhaps wouldn't be seen otherwise. And I just feel like that's a responsibility of mine with the platform that I've got.
Yeah, amazing. And also to show that it's speaking out and voicing your issues is not a sign of weakness. It's actually the opposite. And it shows strength to be able to do it. That's a really important message, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that why I love this project so much and why I've completely fallen in love with it is that it's such a paradox. It's such like the tuk-tuk is so comedic. It's so hilarious. It gets people turning and smiling at every single direction. It goes 35 miles an hour on the Autobahn. These kind of things. Like it's a moving comedic vehicle, but behind it is such a passionate message around kind of such serious topics. And I think that having this conversation also on an adventure with my friends is also just young people love going on holiday with their boys, particularly young men. They love going on holiday with their boys, and they love going and sitting on the balcony and having like these kind of conversations there. And if we can just kind of like make people feel like they're just sat with us on a balcony in Spain on this journey, then I think that it will make people feel a lot better, because I've had so many of those conversations before kind of on those balconies, and it's so great. It's so great to open up like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're going to be traveling through 12 countries over 30 days. Is there a country that you're particularly looking forward to the most? I mean, are you seeing places you've never seen before?
Yeah, so I'm going to be going through a lot of places that I've never seen before. The one country that I haven't been to that I will be going to this time is Estonia, so I'm excited for that. But I'm just so excited for that final sort of 5 days where we're getting into the Norwegian fjords. You know, the sun isn't setting. We'll be able to feel the hype building on social media around the fact that we're so close to finishing. You know, the finishing line is in sight. And yeah, there's not a bit of the journey that I'm not looking forward to. I'm really looking forward to driving on the M25 down to Kent for the ferry. All of it is just going to be, I think it's just going to be an incredible journey, and heads are going to be turning all the way. And it's just my job to make sure that the right message comes across, and ultimately that we raise the money for charity.
Oh, definitely. I bet people will be bibbing and waving at you throughout the whole trip.
Absolutely. I hope so, because they've been doing it so far. So hopefully that won't stop anytime soon.
Oh, fantastic. And if people want to donate, which is really important, you're hoping to raise £100,000 for Young Minds, which I really, really hope you can do. Do they go to the Young Minds website in order to do that?
No, so we've got our own kind of fundraising GiveStar page. So it's in my link tree, which is in my Instagram and social media bios. And then also you can just go onto the GiveStar website and search my name, Alfie Watts, and it will come up.
Okay, fantastic. And also I wanted to mention, I know Finetti are doing some weekly stories as well, which is a great collaboration that people can follow exactly where you are. They've got a live interactive map and everything. So if people go to finetti.com, they can see your journey that way, which is fun.
Yeah, and that we're really proud of this partnership, because, again, it's about getting directly in front of young people. And that's something that Finetti have kind of nailed. So we've actually operated 2 sets of kind of storytime written books, and we've got one on my Substack, and then obviously the one for the children is kind of for Finetti. So we're super excited about that partnership, and Finetti have been fantastic, so collaborative. They've worked really, really hard on this. So we want to do that justice as well, 100%.
Yeah, really exciting. And the founder, Kim, is one of the ladies who I did the TukTuk trip with last year.
I know. So exciting. She's such an amazing woman.
Yeah, wonderful stuff. Well, Alfie, it's been really great to chat with you again. Thanks so much for joining us. I wish you all the luck in the world. We'll be following your journey from Spain, and hopefully we can have a little catch up after you've completed it and raised all the money.
Absolutely. Let's do that, Hannah. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks, Alfie. You take care.
And you, take care. Bye-bye.
Happy travels.